Hello and welcome. I am so excited to be here with you to talk about up-leveling your relationships. This is a big topic for women, and I am here to walk you through it. If you are on the path of personal excellence, and I can assure you that you are if you are taking this course, then you will hit these different markers in your life and in your business, and you will identify that there are some relationships that are going to come with you on this path, and there are some relationships that you perhaps may outgrow or make a conscious choice to no longer be a part of. When I'm up-leveling, you might find this to be rather funny, but I will literally sit down with my two sons and I'll say, I'm up-leveling. We're going through an up-level. I can feel the energy, and we're going to have a family meeting and everybody's going to up-level. And I let them know that here's how I need them to show up, and here's what I need them to do, and here's what I need them to help out with more in the house or whatever it is but at least I'm conscious of what it is that I'm doing. And I'm able to communicate and articulate that. And that is really, truly the key. If you are in a conscious relationship with whomever, and you want to think about your personal relationships and your professional relationships. In your personal relationships, if you are in conscious communication with someone and you have the skill and the ability to tune in and find out what it is that you're going through or what it is that you're needing in any given moment, then you can have a conversation with someone to let them know, like, we're going to reach this milestone, or this big thing is happening in my business. And so in my personal life, this is what I need to have up-leveled. Maybe I need more support, or I need to delegate more, or during different times and different projects that I'm working on, I need people to show up in a different way. So up-leveling your relationships to yourself, we've talked a lot about that. If you have children, you can communicate with them and let them know what does that look like. I can only imagine what my children's lives will be like down the road, because we've had a lot of conscious conversations around this, and they are aware of this terminology that a lot of people are just learning about today. Think about your romantic relationships or your friendships. You might find that as you are going through different up levels, and especially the ones that happen as a result of trauma, if you've gone through a divorce, if you've gone through losing a parent or a child, those are openings, they're doorways for you to choose to up level, to handle things differently. And a lot of times when you go through something like that, the people that have been in your life, that have been your friends at certain periods of time, they can't quite understand what you've been through, or you might be being very honest about your life in a different way, and people will begin to fall away from your life because they're afraid that by your own honesty that they will somehow catch that contagiously. I remember when I was going through a traumatic experience in my own life where my marriage was falling apart, and I was beginning to be really honest about where I was and what I needed to do and what I needed to do to take care of myself and my children. And there were certain friends in my life at that time, and they just couldn't handle what I was going through, and I literally felt like I was being treated as if I had a disease that was contagious. And so that was one of the first signs that I saw that there are certain friends that you're meant to have at certain points and times in your life. And there are some friends that you go out of contact with that may come back into your life. But what I knew and trusted was that when certain friends did go out of my life and then they came back in, that it was meant to be. And if they didn't come back in, then it was okay, and it was part of God's plan. And the same holds true for relationships. You know, when I got married, I was thinking that it was going to be a forever thing. And then some pretty big red flags continued to show up. And I found that there were more negative days and more days of struggle than there were of positive, happy days. And it was just not a relationship that was serving me. And the universe stepped in, as it always does, and made it clear that the relationship was over after almost 18 years. And at that time, I lovingly embraced that because it was almost like a relief. And what I had done was literally I outgrew my ex-husband. I had up-leveled at this point in my life and in my business in every single area except for the area of financial abundance. So I had severed the ties of codependency. I had learned how to love myself. I had learned how to honor myself. I had learned how to speak my truth. I had learned how to have boundaries and honor them and walk away when they weren't being honored. I had learned and I had transformed so many different things. So it really was a natural next step that the universe stepped in at this time, because there was an incident that occurred where my ex-husband had become sober for a while and then he went back to drinking, and I decided I wasn't going to stay for that, but I wasn't financially empowered at time. That was the last piece of codependency that I had to heal, and I was afraid that I couldn't take care of myself financially. And so the universe stepped in and took care of that for me, and I skyrocketed to the next level. And I remember a friend of mine saying to me, Rebecca, you're going to be so amazing. You're going to be freer and happier than you've ever been, and you're going to have so much energy freed up to be able to put into your children and into your business, and things are just going to skyrocket. And even though I had this tremendous fear about not being able to take care of myself financially, that is indeed exactly what happened. That was the year that I broke into six figures. And it was my first year as a single parent, and I tripled my income and made $172,000 that year. And so my fear never even came to be. And when I looked back and reflected on the different milestones in that relationship, what I realized was that I truly did outgrow that person, and I had up-leveled my life so much. And when you're up-leveling, it can be scary sometimes to think, oh my gosh, I'm growing at such a rapid pace and my spouse isn't growing with me, or they don't want to read the same personal development books that I want to read. It's really important for you not to project what your personal path and journey is onto the person that you love or onto the friends that you have. Everyone has their own soul path to follow, and it is not your business to conduct someone else's direction. It is your business to conduct your own direction and trust that if that person is meant to be in your life, that they will catch up, or that you will be in acceptance about how it is that they're conducting their life, or you will respect their own unique path. And if they are not meant to be in your life, then I can assure you from my own personal experiences over and over again with not just an ex-husband, but with family members, with friends, that they will indeed fall away because they're not even vibrating at the same level that you are. It's really important for you to pay attention to who it is that you surround yourself with, because you will become like the 5 people that you surround yourself with most. That is why being in a community like this in the School of Feminine Fortune is so critical to your energy and your momentum. And as you begin to grow on the professional side, you will also find that there are certain relationships that are no longer a fit for you. Certainly the VA that I had, the virtual assistant that I had in the very beginning of my coaching business, as much as I love her and I still keep in touch with her, she would not be a fit for where I am today. It's a much higher level and it's at a higher pace, and I really need the people that are going to show up and bring their A game, because I show up and I bring my A game. So if you identify how it is that you operate, what you're available for in your relationships, both on the personal side and on the professional side, and acknowledge and honor each other person for their own path, then you will be easily able to say, you know what, this isn't working for me anymore, or this doesn't feel like a fit anymore. Or you'll be able to have a conscious conversation like I do with my children about, we're up leveling and here's what I need from you, and are you guys willing to contribute in this way? So I encourage you to keep the faith and stay on the path, and acknowledge in both your personal and professional relationships what is serving you, what is not serving you, what feels like it can go to the next level with you, and truly honor that and have a conscious conversation with the people in your lives that you need to have a conscious conversation with, and then let it go and leave it to God, because the universe is always unfolding with your divine intention at hand.